Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my podcast. I hope you're all well. Very exciting news. I have a sponsor for today's podcast.
Woo!
I know, I'm moving up. My sponsor today is Acid Punk Apparel, and they are currently doing 20% off all their products on their website. So if you check out their Instagram at acid.punk.apparel and check out their stuff. Thank you very much for sponsoring us. And my guest today, if you've watched the podcast before or listened, you will know her. It's my friend Hannah Davies. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm alright, surviving. It's a bit weird. Been a bit weird. As you can tell, I've dyed my hair recently.
It looks good.
Yeah. It didn't look good about a week ago.
Oh, why? Was it one of them where you have to do it like 4 times to get it to...
Nah, what I did was I used something called No Bleach from London.
I keep hearing about this and I'm not convinced that it's a real thing.
It's terrible. It's literally, like, if you're going to call something No Bleach, you'd make it as good as bleach.
Yeah, otherwise what's the point?
Exactly, but it wasn't very good. Like
it still damages your hair though, doesn't it? So...
I don't know. I don't really pay attention to that.
I just think, do it the proper way.
Yeah.
Or don't bother.
Well, it turned like half my hair copper, you know, like piping.
Yeah.
And then like, so I had like 3 different colours of my hair, and like the tips were like this. And then I was going to dye it neon green, and my mate convinced. Yeah, my friend. I showed her my hair, and she was like, "Oh yeah, still do it, because it'll just make the copper bits darker." It didn't.
Green over like ginger.
Yeah. And then like the blonde tips, she was like, "Yeah, it'll go darker." And I looked at it. I YouTubed ginger people. I YouTubed green hair dye and ginger hair.
I feel like you should have messaged me because I've dyed every colour over ginger hair.
Have you done
nothing
green?
Works.
Oh, okay.
Apart from if you get like reddy purple, that will go over it, but everything else, bleach it first.
Well, yeah.
This is over ginger, but like it's just dark.
Well, yeah,
so.
I saw the videos I saw with like ginger people not bleaching their hair, going straight to green, and it was like the tips were like a green, and then the roots went a bit black purpley.
Something to do with the colour wheel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I don't understand it enough. I'd bleach, then put a colour on, and then you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know where you're heading. Your hair might fall out, but...
So yeah, I wouldn't be able to do with that. But then, what I used to get it out was Head and Shoulders and baking soda. And it stripped all the colour out. Like, it was very, like, pale green, like a very, like, light green. So then I bleached it and went like this.
Yeah.
So it was
bleach, you're good.
It was an event. It was just, like, so... And I'm too old to be dyeing my hair, I think. I'm just going to stick to bleaching.
I feel like in lockdown, everyone's done weird hair things, though. Because I never really permanently dyed my hair before, and then lockdown happened, and I was like, it's bleach time.
Yeah.
If it all falls out, I've got a year, no one's going to see me, it's all good.
Well, it was either, for lads, it was either dyeing or with girls as well, it was shaving it. I was like, well, I can't shave it, because I don't know how long it's going to grow back.
Ooh.
I don't know how long, because my hair, I mean, it grows, but...
Not that fast.
Not that fast. Like, this growth's like 2 months, and it's... But when I get it cut, it's only like up here.
Yeah.
Trying to look at my own hair. So yeah, it doesn't grow that fast, but some of my friends were sort of, it doesn't matter about lads dyeing their hair because I haven't got hair the length of yours, you know what I mean? If you dyed yours all one
that
colour,
was my worry,
like...
that if I bleached it, because I only bleached half of it, I thought, what if it falls out and then I'm bald on one side?
Well, that's what I mean.
And then I'm good on the other.
Because I've got a weird shaped head. Like,
I have a weird shaped head. Like, it doesn't look that big in proportion to me.
Yeah.
But I have a really big head.
Yeah, mine's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like flat at the back a little bit. And I cracked my head open when I was a kid, so there's like a scar
I was
there.
going to say, did your head put something as a child?
Yeah. I don't know how, I can't remember how I did it, but it's like, it's not like a, I've got a
You
weird
look weird
head.
bald.
Yeah, I did it once at school. Just because it was the summer, I'd never do it again. I remember I went the complete opposite. I shaved it, like proper skinhead, and I grew it down to my shoulders because I was like, I needed to be as close as far away from baldness as I could be.
I hate that stage. Like, I love men with long hair, but I don't like that awkward, like, to your ears level that everyone has to go through before it's long.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's the worst look on anyone. But I know that you have to do that to then get it to be long. I just couldn't be a man. I'd really struggle.
Why? It's quite easy being a bloke. I'm not gonna lie.
So though.
I mean, compared to being a woman.
No, because if you're a man and you're ugly, that's it. You're ugly. If you're a woman and you're ugly, you can do everything under the sun to like pile on layers on your face, and people just go, "Oh, that's just Hannah. She wears makeup. That's fine." No one has to know. But if you're a man and you pile 10 layers of makeup on, everyone's like, "That man's wearing makeup."
Oh,
That's
I get what you're saying. I don't know, man. I don't really feel like, obviously being a woman, there's a lot of media pressure from looking a certain way. And I get there is for a bloke as well, but I don't really feel it.
I was having this conversation in work the other day. We were doing a whole show on makeup. And one of the guys I was working with, after watching the show, was like, "Thank God I don't have to deal with all of that." And I was like, on the one hand, yes, but on the other hand, every morning I wake up, give it an hour and then go, "I look so good now compared to what I did." And you never get that because you're a man and you just wake up and go, "Yeah, it's my face."
What I look. I don't know. I share the same sympathies with that guy. I was like, I wouldn't know where to start.
I just make it up. Whenever they have these makeup people in work, I kind of try and hide my face because I'm like, I've done it wrong and you know I've done it wrong. Don't look at me. But I feel pretty, so
that's all that matters.
Yeah,
like, as long as you feel good. My hair's a mess compared to some people's.
Yeah, mess. God, disgusting.
Then I'm just like, I don't do a lot to it. I just blow dry it and then put wax in it. I like it. If other people don't.
I feel like you should only do your hair and your face and that to make you feel better, though.
Yeah.
Because if you do it for other people, you never feel better because you're like, I could be better. They're looking at me weird.
You feel empty, I imagine, if you just live for other people. I know, it's been like 10 minutes.
I do think that, though, because, like, I started dressing a bit weird in lockdown, do my hair a bit weird. I feel so much better about myself.
Victory rolls?
Well, yeah, but people will stare at me now when I walk down the street. But if they were staring at me before, I'd be like, what's wrong with me? But now when people stare at me, I'm like, it's because I did my hair a bit weird, but I look really good, and that's why they're looking at me. And even if you don't think I look really good, I do. Yeah. So I've convinced myself that that's why you're staring at me. And then I feel great for the rest of the day because I'm like, oh, so fit.
Yeah, it's like, I'll look at people that are dressed a bit weirdly and just look at them like, okay, I won't. But then some people will just stare at you, won't they?
I feel really awkward. You know when you see someone who's dressed a little bit weird, but you really are into it?
Yeah.
And you're like, how have they done their hair? Their tattoos are really cool. And then you notice that they've noticed that you're looking at them, so you're like, I need to stop. But I want to look more. But I don't want them to be self-conscious, so I'll stop looking at them. But I want to look more.
Yeah, it's like old women on public transport for me. If I'm not wearing like a long sleeve shirt, I'll just look at my tattoos, because obviously when they were younger...
Is that a platypus?
It is a platypus. No, it's not named Perry, before you ask.
Is there a reason behind that, or is it just
I just like platypuses.
Cool? I really like that.
Or is it platypi?
That sounds like some delicacy in India or something.
Like, it's like octopus. The plural of octopus is octopus. But,
is it?
Yeah, I think so. I think it used to be octopi and they changed it. Or people thought it was octopi.
I feel like I would say octopuses, but that makes me sound like I'm a 5-year-old.
Yeah, I don't think it's octopuses. I think it's octopus. Maybe, but then that makes no sense, because like dog is dogs.
What?
But yeah, it's a platypus. I like platypuses, so I had a platypus tattoo. Yeah, but women...
That's
like,
really cool.
All women just look at my arm and I'm just like...
What else do you have? I've never looked.
I
knew you're tattooed, but I've never been like, what are they?
I have that bird skull, which is a Tony Hawk icon. It was like Tony Hawk's first board. That is like...
He's a skateboarder, isn't he?
Yeah, it's like Tony Hawk.
Games.
It's like the most famous skateboarder. What else have I got? I got the classic prison tattoo. So people think I've been to prison. I haven't, because I'm hard. What else have I got? That was probably the most meaningful one, the number 42. That was
What's that mean?
Jackie Robinson's number at the Brooklyn Dodgers. He was the first black player to play in like Major League Baseball.
That's quite cool.
Yeah, they used to have like separate. They used to have a separate league for black people and a separate league.
Really?
Yeah, it was terrible. It's the 40s. It's happened.
Great hair, bad politics.
Yeah, and then he was the first guy to move over, so I was like, that's a pretty cool tattoo.
That's really cool.
And then just fillers, like, what else have I got? I got a Crash Bandicoot.
How far up will your sleeve roll?
I got like a Crash Bandicoot tattoo there.
Oh yeah.
And then my own 121 tattoo, which is pretty cool.
Because you're like so
that.
brummy.
Yeah, people like that. But that's probably the worst thing about being a bartender, is people will just talk to me about my tattoos, and it's like, oh, really? Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm working. Like,
do you not think it's nicer that people have like noticed and then been like, that's interesting, I'll look more, and then been like, oh, that's so interesting, I want to discuss it with you?
Yeah, but there's levels to it. I don't know if I was told this story on the podcast before, because I can't remember when I had this platypus tattoo. So a girl once asked me if that was my star sign,
Yes, I'm a platypus.
Yeah,
Thanks for noticing.
Chinese sign, yeah, is that your Chinese sign of the zodiac? I was like, I just looked at her like I didn't even. I said no words. I just looked at her like, and then she clicked. And it
That's
clicked
one of them
because
ones. It's like if you're joking, that's quite funny, but I don't think you are joking.
Yeah, she was drunk, and I just looked at her a bit like, and she just looked at me like, "What is it?" And I was like, "Is it my Chinese sign of the zodiac, the platypus?" And then and I think her drunk brain clicked a little bit, and she was like, "Sorry."
I'm gonna leave now.
Yeah, no, she was stood at the bar, so I was just like, "I'm going to serve the other guy now."
That's so awkward.
It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't her part, but I just looked at her like, "You fucking idiot!" Like, why have you just asked me? Like, there's levels of conversation, and that's very. Yeah, she wasn't like levered, but she was a bit
Drunk enough to think she was being smart, but
yeah.
she was not.
She'd been there for like an hour and a half or something, but yeah, it was very hilarious.
That's a good level of drunk where you just say stuff and you fully believe it, and then later on you're like, "No, that
yeah,
was the
but she
gin."
probably thinks about that a lot. She's, she's probably at home alone thinking, "Fucking hell, I asked that bartender once if
She's never going to come to your pub ever again.
But this is like Christmas time, I think. So I might have had it. Yeah, I must have. I mean, yeah, obviously, I don't think because our last podcast was like a year ago. I think
It was last summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, because you put it up on Instagram, and then I realised I hadn't podcast for a year, so I thought, I can't really tell people I podcast anymore because it's been a year. So then I started to podcast more.
Oh, I'm glad I inspired you to get back on it.
It wasn't inspiration. It was more. I mean, it was.
It
but
made
it was
you feel
more,
bad about
yeah,
yourself.
it made me feel really bad because I was like, I got podcast, and I realised, oh fuck, it's been a year, so I had to start doing it again. Makes me sound like I don't like doing them. But what have you been up to? You've moved.
Well,
You've lived with a guy for a year now.
no. So last time we podcasted, I lived in town with my friend.
Yes.
Then she moved to Essex because she was in love. She still lives in Essex, but not with the guy she was in love with.
Oh,
So we
okay.
don't like him anymore. She has the best friends, so I go down to Essex like every other weekend now because I love them all. Then I moved. I didn't have a house for a bit because my estate agent was not the best. So I was living with my friend's mum. Then I got a house in Acox Green. There was a shared house. I don't like shared houses because I'm antisocial and I want to go home and not speak to anyone. But then I met this boy and I was like, I know I've only known you 3 months, but it's lockdown. Should we get a flat? And he was like, yes. and now I live with him and it's great and we're in love, so yay.
3 months. I mean, fair play. I mean,
But I think we met in the last week of October last year, so it's like a year yesterday or the day before was our first date.
yeah, because I saw it on Instagram.
And then he basically moved into the shared house in March, I think. And then I was like, I've had enough of this, let's get a flat. And he just agreed, so that was good.
Were people like, not concerned, but did people like give you negative opinions because obviously the classic thing is you court for a little bit, like even the word courting annoys me a little bit because it's like 2020. I don't think anybody courts anymore, but you know what I mean. Like,
I think
the classic
people
thing is,
were worried about me before I met him because I'd just be like going on a date with a boy, going on a date with another boy,
Okay.
met another man, I'm in love. No, I'm in love with this one now. And then I actually met him and I was like, oh, not sure how I feel. And I think that was when people was like, that means you're not crazy because you don't know how you feel. And then a week later I was like, might move in with him, might make him my boyfriend. And then he met my mum and my mum likes him, so we're all good.
oh, that's good. Have you met his parents?
Yeah.
Don't, because last time I asked somebody about their parents, it was a girl I was talking to, and oh god, her mum
Were her
had
parents
died.
dead?
Yeah, her mum was
No.
dead, and I was just like, oh, well, this is fucking. Where do I go from here? And I genuinely, because there was a little bit of a pause, I thought, oh, god, his family are dead, and I was just brought it up on a podcast.
So awkward.
And it is. You're a business lady now.
I'm a businesswoman. I own a business. I'm a company director. I get letters to my house to the director of Syncopate Vintage. But it's always like, I get a letter and I'm like, to the director, that's me, must be important. And then it's like, do you want a business credit card?
Oh
No.
my god.
No, I don't.
How many people send us business credit cards? It's terrible. Like,
The
I
one
don't
that
need
I
them.
got really annoyed, I think it was like Capital something credit card. They'd
Is it
sent
Capital
me,
One?
I think so.
Yeah.
They sent me this letter that you could feel it had like a bank card in it. And I was like, that's really weird because I've never spoke to this company before. Why would they send me a bank card? I opened it. They'd sent me like a 3-page letter, a fake plastic bank card saying this could be your bank card, and now I'm never ever gonna get an account with them because what a waste of plastic. It really annoys me.
Yeah, well, I already have a business account.
Yeah, I've got a Monzo one because it was really easy to set up.
Oh, I'm with Starling for
so
the same
I just
reason.
like swipe, done, cool.
There's no fees as well, so I was like, it's quite cool.
So good.
It's all done on an app, which is a bit concerning for me because even though I am.
I
in the
was thinking
technology
like,
age.
isn't it quite bad that I can't go into the bank and like put money in? But then I've got my other personal one that I put money in that bank and then I just move it over. And
Well,
I'm sure that's probably some kind of illegal and looks a bit tax dodgy, but it's all legit.
Yeah.
I promise.
Well, I'm with HSBC. I was like, I don't like what HSBC do because they fund weird things.
There's always protests outside HSBC.
Yeah,
by,
so I'm like, I don't. But then I don't want to go fully digital because I don't trust digital stuff.
Yeah, I was a bit concerned the first time I made a Monzo. I just got one because I liked the colour of the card, and I worked in a restaurant at the time, and everyone whipped them out, and I was like, it's so pretty, I want one. So that's why I got one initially, and then it's just like, it's been so lovely that now I've got like 3 accounts with them because I just love it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm fully going to go over though.
I've kept my like high street bank just in case.
But then, yeah, I know, but I'm just like, they're really nice.
They are really nice.
Do you know what I mean?
Apart from if you go into your app and you can do like, how much have I spent in McDonald's this year? And it'll be like, you spent £3,000 in McDonald's this year.
I'm not touching that.
Yeah, it makes you feel bad about yourself.
It literally just, my home screen is literally just how much money is in my account. And maybe, I think it's got like a bar graph, a pie chart. And
Sorry to be like a boring adult, but have you ever used one of them like savings apps?
Oh, that like say if you spend £2.80, it takes the 20p out and puts it in it. Are they any good?
Right, so I didn't think they were because I was using the roundup thing on Monzo, and then I got a Plum account. I put it on beast mode, which just means it takes loads of money out my account, but I don't notice it doing it, so it feels like I'm saving loads of money. And then every month I go there and it's like, here's £100 that's yours. Do with it whatever you like.
Oh, I might do that.
It's great.
I might actually do that because you don't realise how much money. Say like I say, if it's £3.80, let's just take the 20p out.
You just don't really notice.
No,
It's good. I paid for my last tattoo with that. Paid for my next one with that. My mum and dad aren't very happy about that.
my mum and dad weren't happy with mine either, but it's my body. I literally have the words "chat shit get banged" tattooed on my leg. Have you not seen my tattoo?
No.
I'm not getting my leg out. I can't because the jeans are too tight for me to pull my legs.
I feel like at least I'm going for like classy, family-friendly
Well,
stuff.
I lost a bet.
Oh, okay.
And it was some sort of Jamie Vardy bet a couple of years ago, and Jamie Vardy is a football player that plays for Leicester City at the minute. And when he was a non-league player, I don't know if it was. I think it was when he was at Halifax Town. Like he tweeted, "Chat shit get banged," and then I bet my mate that Jamie Vardy would or wouldn't do something. I don't know, maybe make the World Cup squad or something. It rings a bell.
And then you got tattooed.
Yeah, and I got it
because you
wrong.
lost.
But it took me like 4 years to get it, and I was like, my mate was just like, I'll pay for it. I was like, fuck it, and then I had one of them done. I think it was the skull, and I think I had that done. But the guy that did that didn't want to do text because he didn't want to get known for doing text because he's dyslexic.
Oh,
no, yeah, he's a darling. So the person that did my arm did that because it was in the same studio, and she was like, yeah. I was like, do you want it in Comic Sans? I was like, I can't go that funny because it does look a bit Comic Sans. It's not intentionally Comic Sans, but it does look a bit Comic Sans, yeah.
That's not great.
It's not, but most people don't care. Do you know what I mean? You know, like, imagine if an old woman saw that. If she's looking at my arm and thinks she's being intrigued.
The
If she
things
saw me
that would
living over...
worry me, like, I wouldn't want to get anything offensive on me because then, like, if I'm going somewhere with loads of kids, I feel like it would restrict what I'm wearing because I don't want kids to see it.
Don't care. Not my kids. Sure. Like, like, I think it's too easy to do that because, like, if you just ban everything like that or don't do something like that, your kids won't. Someone else's kids won't learn that it's wrong. That it just. Do you know what I mean? It
So
just
you're
won't be
here to
there.
be like, I'm the bad example.
Oh, no,
I got
yeah.
swearing tattooed on me. Don't do that.
Nah, but like, if people, obviously I'm not gonna openly swear at a kid. But if a kid,
That's good news.
yeah. But if I'm on a train and I swear, and there's like a kid behind me, sure, like you're a parent, just tell your kid not to do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not intentionally going to do it because it's weird. But if I do it and I don't realise there's a kid next to me.
Yeah, if you don't realise, fair enough.
But yeah, I don't think you should. I don't think you should like ban stuff because then people will never learn. Like, I know it's very trivial.
I feel like it's the same.
Tattoo.
Like, I'd never like wear a T-shirt that had swearing on it because I wouldn't want to offend anyone.
Yeah.
I know that's a bit like.
You can only control your own views and opinions and how you think. You can't control other people, so why care?
I just feel like I should care.
Nah, I don't care. I used to really care. And like, I'm still a nice person and I still try and make people feel happy and comfortable around me, but I'm not going to go... If I want to wear a T-shirt that says something, I'm going to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, oh, people... Some people do. Like,
would you wear it to work, though?
Depends where I worked.
I guess that's different because
Like,
you could
if I
get
had to wear a
fired,
suit to work, I couldn't really get away with a T-shirt. Unless it was like, what is it? Casual Fridays? Is that what it is?
I don't know. I've never really done the whole office wear thing.
I've worked in places that have a standard uniform for 7 days a week or a bar.
I do either like fully casual, or if it's like you need to dress officey, I tend to just be like, I don't think I will, and then I get fired. So
you get fired because of not wearing the correct.
Well, also I'm not very good at being a good employee.
Oh, okay, I feel that.
Yeah, people will tell me what to do, and I'm like, I just don't think I will. Not like I'd never fight with my boss, but if they're telling me to do something and I don't think I should, I just won't because I don't think I should.
Like, I'll do it.
And then I get called into meetings where they're like, "You're not taking this job seriously, are you?" And I'm like, "No." Then I get fired.
Sorry, I don't mind doing things, but as long as it's like justified a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I need your help. Can you do it? Yeah, of course I will. It's like, no, go and do that.
Yeah, but if they're telling you to do something which is like stupid or like not morally good for the business or whatever, then I'm like, I don't think so.
No, it's like I've been asked like I think it was Christmas. Our toilets at work aren't the best. Well, the men's isn't. It's like sloped so you can flood a little bit.
Oh,
because you know, it's the classic thing. Men's toilets are disgusting. So like one day I was asked to, could you mop it? Because everybody else was in like vans and stuff, but I was in dock mine, so I was like, okay. And then she was like, "You're in docks. Do you mind doing it?" And I was like, "No, it's because my shoes on it." But and I'm not gonna make somebody in vans do it because it's a bit, you know.
Yeah, a bit harsh.
Yeah. But how is the business? Is it booming?
Well, here's my issue. I like to employ people who are unemployed because I feel like that's a good deed, especially in like COVID times. No one's got money. So I hired these people and I was like, work as many hours as you want, I'll just pay you. Then I realised I had no money. So now I've paid them all and I've made no profit because all my sales have gone towards paying my staff.
Yeah.
So now I'm a bit like, well, that was pointless.
I mean, but you've still gained a service though. Like they've still done things for you.
Yeah.
And like, the way I look at it is like, most businesses fail in the first year.
That is true. I feel like I'm not losing a lot of money. I'm just not making a lot of money.
Same.
But then they have done all the setup work, which like money wasn't coming in anyway then. So fingers crossed it'll all go well.
Yeah, it's like mine. I just buy stock in.
Yeah.
And then I'll sell, and I won't buy any more until it's sold. So it's not.
That's what I'm thinking.
Make
whenever
money.
I get like feeling a bit negative about it, I'm like, I have like 3,000 records that aren't even on the website. So why am I getting?
Wait, how many? Yeah, I've seen like posts.
So many records.
Why?
I got a bit excited at the start. I was like, gonna start a record shop. But like spent like £500 on records, which to be fair is very cheap for the amount I got and like the quality of them. And it's just effort to put them on the website.
What I've noticed is most people have put like 200 up and not know what's in there and how much they actually are for like 50 quid. But it's like 200 records, and if you sold
the first ones that I got, I was just looking on eBay for like big boxes of records, and there was this one from some woman in Coventry. She's like, got a few boxes of records. I was like, I'll give you 50 quid for them. Like, don't know what they are. Went round, she filled up my entire car with boxes of records. A lot of them were like signed copies of stuff that she just couldn't be bothered looking through. So she'd just been like, I'm a relative died, just have all these. So now I'm like, I could make a lot of money off this.
Yeah, my mum and dad were thinking about doing it. It was like, let me do it. If you're going to do it properly. Because you can't just sell them.
At least separate your good ones. There was a guy who was moving house. He gave me a load of records. I spent £100 on them, and there was like 50 records there. But I then sold one of those records for £100. and I haven't put the rest up, so...
Well, it's like I've
It
got
is
a
good.
couple of jackets and football shirts that I bought off eBay of people that didn't know what they were buying because they just wanted to get rid of it. Especially like football, like vintage football shirts. I think I bought one for like 20 quid, and it's worth 80.
That's mad, isn't it, when you find something like that?
Yeah, and I'm just
Out of
like,
it.
I don't feel bad.
It's not like you've scammed them.
No,
They
'cause
wanted
it-
to sell it you for that
yeah.
amount, but then you do feel like this is too cheap.
Yeah, because I feel like I should give you more, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
And I've got some like, like I got a Tommy Hilfiger jacket for like 35 quid, brand new. I think it's close to 200.
That's mad.
I was like, dude, like even
I
if
feel
you
like
had it for a
that
bit longer, someone probably
In
would have paid
charity
80
shops
quid.
and stuff as
Oh,
well,
yeah,
when
I
you're
keep-
like, this is designer. Nobody's noticed.
Yeah.
Should I just give you £1 for it? I don't know.
I keep meaning to do that, but I don't know how. I haven't really been doing it. Well, I don't really do it. I didn't really do it anyway, but like because of the COVID stuff, I don't really know. Charity shops open again?
Yeah.
Are
What
they?
you want to do, King's Heath High Street.
Yes, I know.
Start at the one, and they've all got hand sanitizers so you can sanitize on the way in and out. And just because no one's going to them, but they've got so much stock from everyone's clear outs
can
over
ima-
lockdown.
mate.
So it's just, I keep going every few weeks. I go and I find amazing.
I think I'm
things.
going to.
So good.
Cause I've got spare time now. I won't do it. Oh man.
100% do it. We'll
What
go for a day out.
Have
It'd be
you-
Great.
we shall? Have you busked recently?
I have busked since lockdown,
Yeah.
but not as much as normal.
How was it? Was it dead?
The first time, do you remember the first day the shops opened?
Yeah.
It was either that day or the day after that I went for the first time,
I
and
think
it was shocking.
Yeah.
Like,
Shockingly
shockingly
busy.
bad.
Oh really?
But I think people were scared. I didn't have a face mask or anything on because it wasn't the law yet.
Yeah.
And I think people were just scared to come up to me.
Mm.
But then a few weeks later, I've been out like with other people, and it basically is back to normal again, apart from less people have cash on them. Cause,
Yeah.
Yeah. But then if people really want to give to you, they'll go to the cash point and get you
Yeah.
some money out. So, yeah.
You had a stalker, didn't you?
Which one?
What do you mean? Which one?
Which one? I've had many stalkers.
What do you mean? Like, I feel so weird. Like when I had Esther on last time, we mentioned a stalker.
Did she have a stalker as well?
Yeah. It was weird.
I feel like that's to be expected when you promote yourself on social media or
Especially
whatever.
women.
Yeah,
It's just
men are weird.
Men are weird.
Men are weird.
Men are, but it's a certain type of man. I don't even like calling them men. It's a certain type of male that's just like, eh. Yeah, tell us about your stalkers.
So I've had quite a few. The weirdest one was a guy who saw me busking, and I've got my little sign that's like, follow me on Instagram, let's stay in touch. Just to get gigs. Like, I don't want to be your friend.
Yeah.
Not COVID, just clearing my throat. Just
Oh, I
wanna
was a
get
bit
that
paranoid
out
when I
there.
coughed earlier as well.
Every time I do it in work, I'm like, I'm not dying, I promise.
Again, it's public transport for me. If I cough, I just feel like people
And
eyes are
everyone
on
stares
me.
at
I
you.
was like, leave me alone.
Terrifying. But anyway, so I have this sign. People follow me on Instagram. And this guy followed me and messaged me and was like, saw you in town, thought you were great. I was like, cheers, babes. Thanks. Lovely. Throw me some money next time you see me. And then a few weeks later, like, he'd message me, like, replies to my stories all the time, and I was just ignoring him because I was like, I don't know you. Be my fan, whatever, but we're not friends. And then I get a text, and it's like, hey, Hannah, you left your jacket at mine. And I was like, don't know who you are. Haven't been to anyone's house recently. I'm wearing the only jacket I own. This is a bit weird. So I replied to him a few times, and I was like, I think you must have the wrong Hannah because I've not, like, I don't know who you are. I've not been round. He was like, oh yeah, I must have the wrong number. Sorry. Isn't it weird that you're called Hannah too? And I was like, yeah. And then he mentioned that he was from King's Heath, and I was like,
Why is he, well, number
That's a
one,
bit
why is he still
weird.
talking to you?
yeah, no, it was a bit weird. But this is when I was working for a vape company, so I
Okay.
I was at work, but I was doing nothing. So I was entertaining it for a bit. I was like, weird that you got the wrong number and we live close to each other. And then he was like, oh, I know who you are. You're that busker. I think you're great. And then I clocked on to who he was. He's that weird guy that's been messaging me. And then I showed my boyfriend, because he'd mentioned my boyfriend's name as well and been like, how is Sam? And I was like, you clearly messaged me on purpose. Why did you make it so weird?
I don't understand people.
So I blocked him on everything. And then he made a new Instagram account, so I blocked him on that one. And then he made a new Instagram account, so I blocked him on that one. And then I think he's got the message now. He was weird.
Like, I've done that, not to that extent.
I stalked a girl.
I've not stalked people, and I've not made new Instagram accounts to stalk that person. But, like, in certain situations, I have not understood the situation a bit, because I'm thinking about my own wants and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So, but again...
What?
Like, say if... It's in every situation. Like, if I get... Say if somebody doesn't want to do something, ever, for a certain reason.
Yeah.
And then that reason gets resolved, but they don't know it, I'll bring it up again. Do you know what I mean? Do you know... fuck it. Do you know what I mean?
I did.
Say if you didn't like... No, I'm not going into it because I'll just...
if you kept inviting me on a walk and I was like, no, I don't have waterproofs, and then I got a waterproof, and then I was still going, no, I can't come.
Or something to do with work or social life or anything. Do you know what I mean?
Can't come to your gigs, I've got no money.
Yeah.
I've just seen you've booked a holiday. Do you want to come to this one?
That sort of thing. But like, say someone owes you money and you're like, you just bought a fucking new coat or something. Do you know what I mean? That sort of thing. Like, I'll follow those up like that in every situation.
That's fair, yeah. But I feel like people need to be called out on stuff like that.
Yeah, but it can be social stuff. It can be anything, good or bad. But I think people, I don't know, I think people are influenced by the weird people like that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously, if they don't know me that well enough, I could be like that, but I'm not. Cause I haven't got the time or effort to do that. Do you know what I mean?
The weird thing about social media is people think that they're friends with you because they watch your stories. Like, I post a lot of stories, even more when I was doing it on my music one, which I don't anymore because of stalkers. But I would post just random things about my life, like, oh, I'm going here today. I feel like this. And then people would stop me in the street and be like, oh my God, Hannah, how's this going? How's this person? And I'd be like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we're friends on Instagram. And I'm like, no, we're not friends.
We're not friends.
You follow me. You watch what I'm doing. If we were friends, we would discuss things.
Yeah.
which we never do.
You just... Yeah, like on my
weird.
business page, like people will message me. It's like, "Oh, your t-shirt's really cool." It's like, "Oh, thanks," and then have like actual conversations with me, which I'm here for. But I'm
to
not.
a point.
Yeah, like because it's the whole I've got to actually switch Instagram accounts to talk to you, which isn't a lot of effort. But for me, if I'm on my like personal one, I see I've got a notification on my business one, I won't look at it unless I need to. Just
Tell you
to
the worst
them.
thing ever. Fair enough if you don't meet. Like, we don't know each other, but you want to chat. Cool, I'll chat to you. If we've never met, never spoken, and you message me hi, and I ignore you. You message me hi, I ignore you again. You message me hi, I have nothing to say to that. I don't know who you are. I'll just ignore you. And then you get, why are you ignoring me? You're such a bitch. You're the worst person ever. Like, if you message me something that I could reply to...
Was it a dude?
Always.
Yeah, of course it
always
is.
A man.
Because it is. It's like, they're terrible we're terrible people.
Tell you who's the worst. Actually, no, I won't tell you his name because that's really hard. But if he's watching this, he will know who he is. So, you know when I was single and I was on Tinder all the time and I was like...
Well, we talked about this in the last
look at all these men who are horrible.
Was it like 100 matches?
2,000 in the end. It was a good time.
No, I think it was 1,000 actually. Because 100 doesn't seem like a lot.
Yeah.
But I was genuinely astounded when you told me you had 1,000
But
matches.
anyway, I would screenshot the funny messages from like desperate men who were just being horrible and weird. Put them on my Instagram story, be like, ha ha ha, I'll never find love, ha ha ha. There's this one guy who would keep messaging me, well, if you ever gave me a chance, maybe you'd find it.
Oh, I hate people like that. Like,
why won't you go on a date with me? And I'm like, because I don't like you.
Yeah, like, I thought that, like, months down the line, but I've never messaged that person been like, well, here I am. Because it's just very egotistical and thing. If anything, it makes you seem less attractive.
And I feel like this is someone that I'd matched with on Tinder because he was a musician, and I was like, maybe we'll chat. Even if there's no dating, I'd match with musicians just because something to talk about in it.
See, lads don't think like that.
Yeah, I realised that. I realised that the hard way.
Yeah.
And we'd spoken, and we'd been like, okay, we're not getting on that well, so let's not meet up. And he was still like, if you gave me a chance, maybe you'd find love. Like, well, no, I don't want to now. Because you've been weird.
Yeah. I don't think lads realise how... We are... obviously there are some very smart men out there that have done wonderful things.
It's not all men.
No, it's not all men.
A lot of men are lovely.
No.
A lot of men...
I mean, yeah, sorry. I just said no.
I have this conversation a lot with, like, female friends. There's a lot of people I've met through Tinder or other stuff. We've realised we're not compatible at all. But then we stay friends because we've both gone, oh, it's not going to work. That's fine. And that's fine. But it's the ones that don't get it. I don't like them.
Well, before the podcast, we were talking about David Icke, weren't we?
I still don't know who this is because you were like, no, save it for the podcast.
Basically, David Icke is. I don't like using the word conspiracy theorist because the whole it's
term, like a bad word, isn't it?
Well, the term conspiracy theory was originated after JFK assassination, and like all the mainstream media over in America needed a word or a phrase to describe people that didn't believe what happened because Kennedy was.
This man's crazy.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. Because if you like. The Kennedy thing is my thing at the minute. Like, it is. I'm very into the Kennedy assassination. So basically in like the early 90s, David Icke thought, I don't know if he actually thought it, but he came out and said every like high ranking person in the world is actually a lizard person in a human skin. Like
in Doctor Who and
literally like that. I think I'd not. Because I'd known about it for so... You know one of those things that you've known for so long that you've never actually bothered to look into because you think you know it. Yeah. Which is... I don't know if it's confirmation bias or whatever. It's some sort of bias.
Yeah.
Which is the problem. Because he actually knows a lot of shit. And he was in... When was this anti-mask march protest?
I know there's been loads. My boyfriend messaged me a few months ago saying that loads of people had been in town.
The 25th is ringing a bell, which was Sunday.
I can't remember what day it was. I don't think it was an organised protest. It was one guy with the guy that I saw was just one guy with a microphone. You know, like the preachers and stuff?
Yeah.
But he was preaching, no one's got the flu. COVID is a lie. Take your mask off.
Yeah,
and I just walked past with my mask on like, no.
There was an organised one? Or there is? I'm sure
there's been a few.
The 25th is... Because I looked at it. I don't know where else. I think I saw it on Reddit. Which is...
Source of all information, true and false.
Well, I prefer it to Facebook at the minute because they actually post links.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's not
Facebook is just I believe this, you don't. You're wrong. I'm deleting you.
It's all clickbait, like Birmingham Live. I'm calling Birmingham Live out now. If you're watching, dickheads, like they'll put like daily COVID numbers up, and it'll just scare people.
Our feeds must be so different. All I get from Birmingham Live is. This girl got this quote to decorate her kitchen, but she did it herself for £50.
Yeah, I get those as well. And
that's all I get recently.
But then people will moan about the COVID stuff. It's like, you just fear-mongering. And then they put that stuff up as like, post actual news. It's like, well, what do you... Like, not a lot happens. And then there's the occasional stabbing. And then they'll put that up there.
Yeah, there's always a stabbing in Birmingham, isn't there?
Yeah. But yeah, they're all clickbaity nonsense. So I prefer Reddit.
That's why you shouldn't trust newspapers, because they make their money through advertising, don't they? So they need you on their page. So they'll put a headline that gets you to click through, regardless of if that's true or that's in the article. Because then you get there, they made their money, they don't need you anymore. So
yeah, my favourite thing, I think it was I can't remember if the Sun posted this as like a campaign sort of advertising thing, but like Sun now costs less than a cup of coffee. Someone posted like, we're going to buy the cup of coffee because it's dying, so you might as well. The more coffee you buy, the less amount of sun. I don't even like saying the word.
Do you remember that time when everyone was like, we hate the sun, so what we're going to do is buy it all and then burn it?
No.
And it's like, I think someone from the Sun must have organised this protest because it's literally funding them.
Like burning Bibles, but the Sun.
Yeah, but you had to buy them all first to then go and burn them. Like, no one cares what happens once you bought them because you've given them the money. Yeah, so
that's just terrible for the environment as well.
It was just a whole bad idea.
Yeah. So going back, I didn't really finish the David Icke thing.
Bit of a tangent.
But because he came out with this lizard theory, which is absurd, I think. But then again, you don't know.
Never know.
You never know. Like, it's absurd, but like he actually knows quite a lot. He's done a lot of research into like 9/11 and. He uses the word cabal.
What's that mean?
A cabal. I think it's like a group of people. You know, like you've seen James Bond? No. Oh, for fuck's sake! I was going to make a bang on reference there. Like in James Bond, there's like this evil organisation called I think it's Spectre. I love James Bond as well. But you know, like all the villains,
Yeah.
like Doctor No, that Scaramanga, who is the man with the golden gun. You've not seen the man with the golden gun? Christopher Lee. You know who plays?
No.
No.
I know James Bond wears a suit, drinks cocktails,
Yeah.
has lots of women round.
Yeah.
That's all I know about
Like
him.
all the villains are connected by this organisation. So that
like the government.
Yeah, like the government.
Huh?
I don't want to use the word government. Some governments are alright, most aren't. But yeah, he uses the word like it's this big cabal that's connected through paedophilia, which he's released evidence for.
I feel like a few years ago, if you said this to me, I would have been like, "You're insane." But now I'm like,
Well, this is the thing with David Icke. People that used to think he was an idiot and didn't pay attention to him, but he found out a lot about like 9/11, Princess Diana murders, which is quite interesting as well. But yeah, he thinks it's all connected by this cabal. He has evidence, but it might be. So it's one of those evidence.
The issue is though, like, a lot of what he's saying could be true, and half the people jumping into the research are legitimately mentally sound people with information, but the other half are like, yeah, and this could be happening. So then when you go and research it yourself, it's really hard to like separate the people who are doing genuine research from the people who are just like, and the Queen's a lizard.
Yeah, no, it is.
Although she might be, because we don't know.
We don't know.
But you know what I mean.
But yeah, like one of my favourite phrases is a broken clock is right twice a day. And that used to be my opinion of David Icke. But now I've actually looked into it a bit more. He's actually right more than twice a day. But like you say, it's with like you say, you can't trust things. You have to like, and this is what I don't like about Facebook, because like people see like a headline and believe it, but it's not that.
One of my lecturers at uni had a whole lecture. Well, initially, when we had this lecture, I thought he's just gone and like sniffed something, and that's why he's having this lecture. But I think about it all the time now, and he said everything about your reality is just what you've decided to believe when people have told you things. So you don't actually know anything is true. You just decided to trust some people and not trust other people, and that's how your whole reality has come to be.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying, and I don't like thinking about it.
No, like that's the weird thing about being a human, because we are such a high. Well, not like there's dolphins are quite intelligent as animals, but like we are on such like a level of consciousness that it's very easy to not think that you are, and then you get stuck into like a bubble, and then you only see things and you only conform to things that you agree with. Do you know what I mean? So you never see the negative stuff in life, or you do but don't take any notice of it, or the opposite of what you think. Do you know what I mean?
This is what I was saying earlier. So if you're a Labour voter and you delete all the Tories off your Facebook, then you're really confused when an election comes out and everyone's voted Tory, because you're like, but no one in the world is a Tory.
Yeah.
But that's because you just deleted them out of your life. They still exist and they're still there and they have their opinions and they're valid. You just didn't see them because you decided to like block them out.
Yeah. That was the thing with like London and Brexit. People in London were convinced that we were never going to leave. Like there was going to be a unanimous no vote to Brexit, but because they think, because Londoners, I'm not saying that. I don't know every Londoner. But
I was
like,
a student at the time, and all the students were like, Brexit's never going to happen.
Yeah, but you don't.
But then when I come home for Christmas and stuff, all my family were like, well, obviously it was going to happen because everyone voted for it. Because it's like you're a separate bubble.
Yeah.
You don't realise what's going on. So if you can not realise what's going on a few miles down the road, how do you know what's going on in the world?
Exactly. Like,
terrifying.
Most people don't even like. I'm not going to bash families, but like most people, I don't think
stupid families, ugh.
Fuck the nuclear family. But I feel like most people don't even talk to their household properly anymore. Because my mum and dad vote completely differently to me and have totally different opinions, but I don't really talk to them about it.
It's just because you live different lives, isn't it?
Is.
So you have totally different perceptions of the world.
Yeah. But we're so connected now that you think, or we think that everybody thinks the same. Yeah, it's weird. It's algorithms, man. I think we should just get rid of social media.
But even if you got rid of social media and you sit in a pub and you're talking about how you're all going to vote Labour and the people sat next to you are all Tory, 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 you're going to be like, shut up, we're going over here. You stay over there. We don't want to know you. And then you're still in your own bubble that you've created yourself. And Everyone's just their own worst enemies.
They are, because I don't think people don't like being disagreed with
Exactly.
or
But
proven
that's
wrong.
why
And it goes for both
peace will
sides.
never happen because you're like, I'm right, you're wrong. That's the end of discussion. And it
It's not a
doesn't
discussion. It's
That's
not a
the issue.
discussion.
That is the
If you
issue.
if you were truly going to have a discussion, you'd listen to other people's points of view and then come to, even if you don't agree, like at the end of discussion, you don't have to agree.
This is why I have so many friends on Facebook that share things that I think, you're stupid and I disagree, but I refuse to delete them because every now and then they'll put up an opinion and I'm like, well, I didn't agree, but you've got a fair point and now I feel like I should read up on that.
Welcome to life.
Whereas if I deleted them, it would just never enter my head and I'd be more extreme in my own views and it would be a mess.
It would be.
It is a mess anyway, but I don't want to make it worse.
Well, that's what I mean. Like my life's a mess. Like, it is, man. Like, but I try not to be influenced by that sort of thing. Anyway. I'm doing very well at the minute.
It's hard though, isn't it? Because it's just all angles every day.
Like, I had to take a break off social media because I was just being like from both sides, from good and negative stuff to it was just all coming at me, and I thought,
And now
you know
what you do is share daily Shia LaBeouf
Yes.
running, which genuinely, every time you share one from a new account, I go and follow it because I fancy him so much. I think he's wonderful. I really appreciate that your social media has taken that turn.
I haven't done it today, but I do genuinely really like Shia LaBeouf. Like, even so much, it started.
I really like him because he seems to be like against the whole media thing. Do you know when he did like the whole "I'm not famous," but it made him more famous, even though he's trying not to be famous, and that was the point.
Yeah. He spent like a day in a lift as well. This was at Oxford. Yeah, he did like one of those Oxford talks. You ever seen those on YouTube? Oxford Union Address, I think it's called. That's ringing a bell. Like,
I'll Google it when I get home though.
yeah, because Oxford University has a lot of money. They can get people in, and people that view it live are members of their, I don't want to say student union because I don't think it's a student union, but they're like,
something to do with it.
So they'll have, who they had it on? I saw a clip on Instagram today, and A$AP Rocky was there. They've done Shia LaBeouf. They've done a Carla, who I really like.
They've had Kanye West in. He's another of my favourite people.
They've had Tommy Robinson in, which was quite an interest. I didn't watch it. I don't think I've watched it all. I've seen a clip, which is quite interesting. Because I'd love to speak to him as well. Because even though our views are totally opposite,
it's still good to have the chat to be like, well, why do you think so different to me?
Yeah, it's like I'd love Nigel Farage to have a conversation because our views are totally different, but I still feel like we'd have a decent conversation.
Someone I know has been sharing lots of Nigel Farage stuff on Facebook recently, and normally up till now everything he's ever posted I've been like, oh, what a dickhead. But he was posting about how in Wales they weren't selling baby clothes because it wasn't essential.
Yeah.
And he was like, this is ridiculous, the shop's open, you're just supporting Amazon by doing this, which is worse. And I was actually like, he's not a total idiot.
No.
Because I agree with that.
He came out against the whole voting against feeding children for free over the children in need it, obviously. And I was like, yeah, see, he's not that stupid.
Yeah.
He's not
so
that.
Everything must be logical to him.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, when you think of like wars and stuff, and we're always told like we're against the Middle East, but then you think if you lived there and all you get is UK and America bombing you, you're going to think UK and America are evil. So it's just like everything's logical to the person who's thinking it.
Yeah. But people don't think they have time to learn that stuff when you do. You have so much time in this world. You have so much time. Like,
yeah.
Like, even if you, like, worst case scenario, even if you die before 40, you still have like 39 years to.
Especially in lockdown. What else are you doing?
Oh, I know, man. Like, I've read so much.
Go learn about things.
Yeah, I've read so much and just absorbed all of it. Because one of my favourite things to do is just listen to people that are passionate about something.
Yeah.
And it may be passionate about something that I don't agree with.
But there must be a reason why they're so passionate, so you've got to find out what that is.
Yeah, like, everyone has passions, even if they are negative. Like,
even if they're stupid and I disagree.
Well, people are obsessed with serial killers, and they have an obsession and a passion to kill people.
I did not realise how weirdly obsessed my boyfriend is with serial killers.
He's a nurse, isn't he?
Yeah, he works in hospitals and theatres and stuff. But we watch, like, little YouTube clips about like top 10 serial killers who did this specific
there's
thing.
a top 10 list for serial killers like that.
But he will literally be like, that guy, based on this picture, I know his name, all the people he killed, his exact style.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't know you knew
victim.
this much. But it is fascinating because they must think so differently to how
Yeah.
normal people think. It's interesting to like research them just to be like, well, they have a brain, I have a brain, but theirs is doing something weird.
Yeah, it's just completely white. It's wired completely differently. It's fun. Nah, it's a nice pastime to have to understand people. I don't think enough people do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because some people it's really easy to knock somebody down, but it seems a lot hard. But which is weird to me, because surely the easiest thing to do is just be nice to somebody. But a lot of people would rather knock you down than understand you.
So this is going back to stalkers. I had another stalker. She was some girl who had an issue with me because of who I was dating, because she liked him even though she'd rejected him. It was a whole thing. And even though she was just like firing abuse at me consistently, I would keep being like, well, maybe she feels like this because of this. And I like trying to justify why she'd be acting how she was acting. Because I didn't want to just like be mad at her. Because like she's not just a crazy person.
No.
She's obviously got reasons.
She might be, but even so.
Well, yeah, we came to the conclusion that there's no way she could reasonably think what she was thinking because she was just insane. But there was a long time where I would have conversations with my boyfriend and then like friends that were totally removed from the situation, just to be like, if you reacted like this to this happening, what would make you react like that? So then I could be like, well, why is she reacted like that? But then whenever I do that, people are like, but you should just hate her. Which is like when people cheat as well. I'm like, yeah, he's a dickhead, but why has he done that? And people are like, no, Hannah, just cut them out. They're a horrible person. I'm like, no, they're not. They just have done it for a reason.
No, I sympathise.
So, yeah.
Like, there's people that in my life that were really close to me that have royally fucked me over. And it really affected my life for a while. Like, I turned to alcohol and drugs just to get over it. But then I realised, oh, they've done it for their own reasons. And I was just... Yes, I may have been affected negatively from it, and I was the... Not cause of... But I was like... Like, I was like the afterthought in that situation. Because they did it to, like,
because something else was happening in their head.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh, that's okay. Like, they did it for... And then I stopped. And I stopped thinking negatively about the situation.
I feel like you still have to be like... hey, you did this thing, it was really bad, just so you know this is how I feel.
Oh, yeah,
cool.
We don't talk anymore.
But then you still,
But
like, you know, I said I was dating that guy before? Let's not mention names because this is going to go up publicly. I don't want to piss anyone off. But basically, he cheated on me and previous people who I'm friends with because previous people messaged me and were like, just so you know, he's done this.
I love when girls do that.
Yeah.
I genuinely love when girls do that.
And at the time, all my friends were like, why are you speaking to that girl? Isn't it weird? Shouldn't you hate each other? No. And both me and the girl were like, well, no, we've just been through the same thing. We're just helping each other out. And we still talk to this day. We're like really good friends. And I still talk to him even though he's done some bad stuff. Yeah. But
you removed from the situation that caused the pain?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So, yeah. It's like, well, that was an incident that happened. But we've all had discussions about it and know why it happened. We're not going to let ourselves get close to the wrong people to let it happen again.
Yeah.
But, like, I'll still message you and say, hey,
yeah,
like, how you doing?
Like, I don't talk to the people that fuck, but just because we've gone on different lives.
Yeah.
I don't really hate anybody. I haven't got the energy.
I feel like
I say it a lot. I haven't got the energy.
Make an effort to drift apart from people if I know they're bad for me. But I'm not going to be like, I have to cut you out. You are so horrible.
Yeah, like, I'm not saying that, like, this is a platform. I mean, I get views. I don't get views as...
Not famous yet, but we're getting there.
Exactly. But, like, I could use this platform to be like, this person did this person did that.
Oh,
they're a horrible person. But I was like, why would I do that? Because it's just feeding my own... It wouldn't even try and make me feel better, but it's just... That's the easy way out.
I also feel bad, like, if someone's done something bad to you, and you know that they've, like, learnt from it and changed something, you don't want to then keep bringing it up, because it's like, well, they might not be like that anymore, so...
Even if they are, I don't talk to them anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Not your issue to get involved, is it?
Like, it did... Like, I let it affect my life, and like I say, I turned to drugs and alcohol. And I am... What was that? 2 years? 2 years. 2 years and a day. 2 years and half a day sober off of coke, which I'm very proud of. Thank you very much. But, like, that whole thing, like, I did it for, like, a year. And like that whole scenario happened, and I just went for it for like 6 months, and I realised this isn't good. And at the same time that I realised, had like that epiphany of why they did all that stuff, I realised, oh, I don't actually need the drugs, and I just stopped.
Yeah, you get to a point where you're like, I control everything that I let affect me, so I just move on.
Yeah.
I do my hair and I'll get on my life.
Yeah. Someone did ask me today, they was like, how did you give up? I was like, I just literally stopped. She was like, and I was like, what do you mean? And I literally like, what do you mean? I just stopped doing it. I was like, oh, I've had previous people, like I've been in relationships with people that we've had to end because of it, and I was like, they probably just didn't want to stop. And when
I was working that vape campaign thing that I was doing, I basically had to sell vapes to people, and the amount of people that I spoke to about like vapes versus smoking and using vapes to stop smoking, and at least 3 people a day would be like, I smoked and I thought I couldn't quit, and then something happened that made me realise life was more important, so I never smoked again after that. And it's like, you just need the switch in your head to be like, oh, okay, cool, let's move on.
Yeah, but that can happen. I think people with addictions, I think people, like, you'll try and do it, but you'll try and do it as soon as, say if I was with you, say, I'd try and do that as soon as I noticed it, if you were addicted to something.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work like that.
It's like the person themselves has got to realise it themselves, or it'll never happen.
Well, and that could happen the day they die, which is unfortunate, but that's just the way things go.
It's like people in bad relationships, and you can sit there and be like, your boyfriend's a twat, he's treating you like shit. And it's not till they realise it in their own head that they're like, oh yeah, all these years I've just been treated like shit.
I know. It's very weird, mad. But as soon as that clicks, you'll never go back. Like, I still think about it. I still think about drugs. I just can't be arsed anymore. I think about it. Like, if I'm annoyed, I think, oh, I could do some coke now. But then I realised, oh, I would have thrown away the last 2 years of actually bettering myself. I actually can channel my energy into good stuff. Podcasting.
Yeah.
The way I finished the last podcast with me and you was about ghosts.
Yes.
And I said that I've never seen a ghost. I haven't seen a ghost.
Oh, I thought you were going to say I've seen 10 since.
No, but I've heard
I was really
one.
excited. Was it singing?
This got reminded to me because my friend Emma, who is a pathologist in London, she does autopsies. She has her own Instagram page.
That's a terrifying job, but
she loves it. She get a plug now as well. I think it's A Life in Death.
I'm gonna search this up right now. A Life in Death.
Yeah, so she did like a Q&A, and someone was like, "Do you ever see ghosts in the mortuary?" It's not called a mortuary. What does she like to call it? She doesn't like calling it. I think she uses the word mortuary. She doesn't like the word morgue because it's a bit archaic.
Life in Death.
But once I stopped at hers, I think there was like 3 of us in the living room, and her old house was 100% haunted. Like,
I hate to live somewhere with ghosts.
No,
even if you just tell me there's ghosts, if I never experience it, I'll still be like, whoa.
Yeah, I think a glass got thrown in the kitchen once, and then this wasn't while I was there, but like when I stopped, I was on one of the sofas and we were just chatting, and you could hear like the classic thing was like a dragging noise upstairs. We all heard the dragging, and obviously it could have been Emma, but I was like, well, it's not going to be because she's not. You know when you can tell if someone's
yeah.
And I don't want to call it, like, but yeah, it does. She would never do that. But yeah, like I heard it like so I've never seen a ghost. I've heard a ghost. I've heard like a dragon.
That's terrifying. That's like a horror film thing.
Well, it used to happen in her bedroom, which obviously is more. It makes it more like, oh, it's probably her, but it wasn't, because I think she might have video of it, but I don't know. But yeah, it's even more concerning if you're in like the room and you can hear it. But if you're downstairs, it's still like, but like, yeah, it was.
I don't like it.
It's not. It's horrible. But I was just like, yeah. So this had happened like 10 years ago. So I totally forgot about this until it got reminded for me. And I was like, oh wait a minute, I have actually had a paranormal experience, but because I said seen instead of heard, and because I'm stupid.
I feel like felt things. Like my ex's old house, it was like really old. And before I even went there, he was like, everyone thinks this one room is haunted. And I slept in that one room, and it was the most uncomfortable night's sleep of my life. It was horrible.
You should check for like electromagnetic interference, because that apparently affects your brain a bit.
Maybe. Yeah. Or maybe it was ghosts.
Yeah. And then I think people that have had carbon monoxide poisoning as well has been seen to see ghosts, but then realised it was...
Because it affects your brain.
Yeah, your brain doesn't really work properly under those influences.
This is totally kind of unrelated, but there's this thing on Netflix about how human memory isn't memory as you think memory should be. It's just a tool to help you learn. So you won't remember things accurately to how they happened, but you remember things in a way that will stop you dying.
I'm so confused.
So, like, it was saying people remember 9/11 in different ways to what actually happened. And people will say, I have this really vivid memory of I saw this happening, but then I know for a fact that I wasn't there at that time, so I couldn't have seen that, but I definitely remember it.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
Like, your brain edits memories to... It's like some kind of evolution to stop you doing stupid things that will kill yourself. It edits your memories to keep you safe rather than to give you an accurate memory of what's happened.
I was like...
So you can never trust anything because your own brain is a lie.
Yeah, like, I was... 2001. I was like 7. I remember being told at school what had happened, but I was 7.
I don't think I fully understood what was going on. Like, I was aware something had happened.
Yeah, I was,
but I don't really get it.
But I had no mental image of what had happened until, like, 2 or 3 years later, on, like, an anniversary. Because I remember being told, because I was at school, and it was really, like... Yeah,
it was, like, big news, but I didn't quite...
We were 7. I don't know why they told us, to be honest. Because, like, what... I didn't even know what... Like, I think I knew what New York was. It was in New York, wasn't it?
There was, like...
It was in New York, wasn't it?
A few years before, or a few years after.
Wait a minute, it was in New York, wasn't it?
My geography's bad, I don't know, I'm moving on.
Yeah, no,
but there was something similar... London bombings around the same time.
7/7.
And I knew that had happened, even though I didn't really understand what was going on.
I understood that a bit more, because I was...
Was that a bit later?
2007, I think. Or was it the 7th for the 7th?
I don't know.
I don't know when it was. But I remember being that a bit more clearer, because I had a better mental image and better understanding of what London was.
And I feel like that was closer to home, so more people were, like, directly affected.
Yeah, like, one of my teachers was a bit concerned because her daughter lived in London.
Yeah, it's like everyone knew someone who was there or close enough to be in there.
It's very weird, but it's perception, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like 9/11 is such a big thing, but I had no... Like, it must have been 2001. It must have been... It might have even been, like, a really later, because I wasn't 10 till, like, 2004. And obviously...
When were you born?
94.
Okay, cool. So I don't have to do maths, I'll just be, like, same.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah, like, I didn't really have... And I don't really... Yeah, I didn't really care, because I was 7. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now
I feel the same about... You know how the whole Iraq war thing? I remember watching Newsround, and they tried to do, like, a kid's version of what was going on. And I remember being like, this is weird. It doesn't affect me. Cool. I'm young. I'm moving on with my life.
Yeah, it's still good to know stuff like that, though.
Yeah.
It's a pressure for the world. Because obviously, if you have no idea of war until you're like 22.
I do think it's bad. Like, a lot of my friends when I was in primary school had parents that wouldn't let them watch the news because bad things were on there. And I always think, them kids must be, like, really messed up now.
It goes back to the editing thing I was on about with, like, my sweary tattoo. Like, if you just edit people's lives like that...
Yeah, you can't not expose people to bad things and then when they're 18 be like, war! Death.
Yeah, it's just like, bye.
Enjoy your depression.
Yeah, move to Manchester and go to uni. You know, like, it's just, like, completely away from your parents. It's just like, yeah, I mean, drips and drabs. Not be like...
I feel like...
read a conspiracy book to them.
Don't be babysitting a 3-year-old and be like, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
But also, like, when someone dies, don't be like, oh, they've gone on holiday.
Yeah. Yeah, it just fucks kids up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But then, now, if you'd be like... Oh, it was your parents' fault. You're like, your parents are like, no, it wasn't. But it sort of was. I
feel like everyone's parents mess them up a little bit. Somehow. Everyone's got like a little bit of an issue that came from their parents.
I'm extremely neurotic. Because I think that's the right word.
I love myself because my dad told me I was amazing.
That's a good way to live, though.
Oh, it's not. Everyone hates me for it. All the time I get messages like, can you stop posting selfies? It's really annoying. And I'm like, no, I'm amazing.
Ignore those people. If they're like... Stop posting that. Was like, stop looking at them.
I feel like that on the one hand it's annoying because I'm annoying on social media now because I'm like, I'm great, I'm better than you, listen to me. But at the same time, like, a lot of people tried to bully me in high school and I was like, what you're saying is wrong, I'm great. And then they stopped bullying me because I was like, I'm unaffected by this.
As soon as you like...
So there's like pros and cons.
There is. But yeah, people are just like, don't stop posting. It's like, mate, you don't have to look at them.
I had someone message me when I was on holiday with my boyfriend. posted a lot of pictures of him because I was on holiday with him. And someone messaged me, I'm unfollowing you now because it's become the Sam blog and I'm sick of it. And I was like,
what's their problem?
all right, I'm
Like,
on
I still
holiday with
follow
him,
you.
so I'm still going to post
Was it when you went to
it.
Amsterdam?
We went to Berlin.
Berlin.
So,
Sorry.
yeah, same
I
time
did,
you're
like,
thinking of.
I did like
8
those two
cities,
places
somewhat, yeah.
in like the same holiday. So it's sort of the same to me. Yeah, but like Berlin, like, dude, shut up.
Yeah. I'm posting my life. My life is with this man all the time, so
Exactly.
he's going to be in it.
Like, I've seen it. Like, the best thing was, my friend was on a holiday, and I had a drink, so I was a bit tipsy. So I commented on, like, I sent him a message after every story post. It was like, a lovely view. It was this building in, it was somewhere in Italy. It was featured, I think it was
Oh,
Rome.
I'd love to go to Italy.
Yeah,
Never been, but
it was
all
on-
the cities look amazing.
It was in Angels and Demons, the Dan Brown book and film. So I was like, oh my god, that's there. I've always wanted to go. It's like where the final bit happens.
Yeah.
It's an Italian name, so I can't remember. And the next picture was, I think that was like, what a view. So I commented on that. And the next picture was of a boyfriend. It was like, even better view. I was like, Because I was a bit tipsy. I was like, that's disgusting. And then the next one was of food. Or something. I don't know if it might have been food, then the boyfriend. And then the fourth one was him proposing to her. So I commented on all four. So I commented on all 4 story posts, like made the fucking drunken idiot in a pub somewhere. And I was like, I gave her shit for like, no, I had a nice one. And I gave her shit for the next 2. And then she got proposed to. I was like, oh my god. And I was just like, so yeah, it was a really weird occurrence. But again, if you like, again,
I feel like that's why you follow people, like, to see all that, isn't it?
Yeah, like, I enjoyed your post from Berlin because I was like, oh, she's enjoying Berlin with Sam. You know
I had
what I
a
mean?
great time.
You do post a lot about Sam.
I do, but he's like, if I'm not at work, he's there. So
exactly.
yeah.
What do people want?
It's like when we had the cat living with us. It was all about the cat, just because the cat was always there, and I was
Yeah.
like, "What's my life doing? I'm with the cat." I'll post a picture of the cat.
People
I
just
miss
need
the
to
cat
chill.
so much.
People just need to chill out a bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Stop enforcing your views on people. Nobody
I
cares.
agree.
I say that while recording a podcast. So I'm in
Yeah,
sort
but
of-
you're not saying you have to think like me. It's just like,
No.
here's my thoughts.
No,
Do with them what you like.
Yeah. People like it. People like it. What time are we on? I should check the time. Oh, we've been going for about an hour.
Really?
I think so.
My God, I didn't think we were this interested.
No, I don't. This is like, I have a very negative impact. Not a view of myself. Like, I love myself, but I'm thinking like,
I love myself, but I'm the worst.
yeah, like I'm like, I know nothing, but yet I can talk about nothing for like an hour and 10 minutes.
I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Is there anything you want to talk about?
myself. No, really.
Why?
I'm great.
What do you mean? Oh, I'm gonna end it.
Oh, okay.
Hannah,
No, I'm
you've
okay
been-
with that.
You've been a lovely guest,
Thank
as
you.
always.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, some people comment. Some people are just like, I like your podcast, but I don't really like the whole. Because I think some of my former ones have been like very interviewy, like me question.
Ask me some questions.
No, I have done. I'm just
Go on.
I'm trying to round this up.
Go on.
here. I'm trying to round this up and stop. And then be like, oh, I like the ones that are a bit more free form, where we're just talking about life, and I feel like we've done that today.
Yeah.
So hopefully those people enjoy this podcast. 'Cause I don't want to be an interviewee. 'Cause
Yeah, it's a bit forced, that, isn't it?
Yeah, because like when I had Esther on and I told Esther this, it was like I felt very awkward for like the first 10 minutes, and then I made her laugh, and I was like, okay, we can have a conversation.
We're
now.
friends now. It's
Yeah,
all
like,
good.
yeah. I was like, oh, I can have a conversation now. I'm not just asking you weird questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but thank you for coming on.
Thank you for
I don't
having
know
me.
when this podcast is coming out because
Soon.
I'm in terribly
It
lazy.
should be next on the list because
It
everyone
is
loves
next on the
Hannah.
list because I have no.
Oh, is it?
more, I have no more podcasts recorded.
Oh,
So you are next on the list.
I
When
appreciate
it
that.
should be like, it's like the 28th now, innit? It might be next week, it might be the week after, but I shall let you know.
I might give it a share.
Thank you for coming on. Thanks for listening, guys. And do check out our sponsors, Acid Punk Apparel.
I'm going to check them out. I'm going to buy everything.
Please do.
I feel like I've said that
Please do,
before
'cause
and then
then
I never did.
Their sponsorship will, them sponsoring this podcast will actually benefit
It will
them.
mean something.
Yes. I think it's acid.punk.apparel at Instagram. They also have a Facebook page as well. I think it's just acid.punk. But yeah, check them out, guys. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the next one.